All right, I want to introduce our Board of Trustees, President John Brudnak with the Orland Fire Protection District, who is going to present some information and introduce some of our officials. So, John? Rosemaria.
Thank you, Ray. Two people I'd like to acknowledge from the start. First, our three new trustees. Where's, oh, two. I'm sorry, the third one is not here. Angela Greenfield and Beth, Damas, Kaspar. Tina Zekich could not make it today for work reasons, but they were just sworn in last Tuesday, and we're very excited to have them on the board with us. And they're the vast, diverse knowledge of all our different things, and that's always very, very beneficial when we discuss any topic regarding the fire district. Next person I'd like to introduce is Megan Roche Steigauf, our attorney for the board, taking over for her father, Jim Roche, who passed away last year. She's been working with him for many years, so she knows our district inside and out, and is a great help to all of us regarding anything regarding legal matters. Fire Chief Mike Schofield. Mike has been with us for many years, and he oversees the operations of the fire district. And Mike has how many battalion chiefs underneath you? Five. And deputy? And one deputy. One deputy, Nick Cinquepalmi. Our budget director, Kerry Sullivan, who is one of the most impressive people I've ever met. Her knowledge of accounting and budgets is second to none, and she keeps us solvent to the nth degree and keeps us paying our bills, and is a great steward of the finances for this district. Fire and Life Safety Education Coordinator, Betsy Dine. Betsy works with all of our local groups and schools in fire safety, and she's been unbelievable. Very well received with all of our grammar schools and many other groups, including our senior groups. Rose DiBenedetto. She's our coordinator with our Senior Advisory Council. And the Senior Advisory Council is an integral part of this district, and they are always involved with many things. This is one of our newest trustees, Tina Zekich. Thank you for coming. Rose is going to talk a little bit regarding the Senior Advisory Council. But just wanted to say a few words before we get started. The fire district is obviously an integral part of the city. And it's not only saving lives and extinguishing fires, saving homes, but we have probably one of the best fire districts in the country. We know we're one of the best in the state, but because of all the things the firemen and the paramedics can achieve, we look like the gold standard for the state of Illinois. With regard to our training facilities, where we have other districts come by and use them with our supervision, they're able to train their firefighters for their districts. It's a very unique thing that we have. And hopefully other districts could take our example and do that also. But we have a very unique situation with regarding how great our fire department is. Since the last 10 years that I've been on the fire district, first as a commissioner for a couple years, and then I'm on my second 6-year term as a trustee, we've seen the district progress just immeasurable ways. The paramedics of our district are second to none. when you typically think a cardiac save rate is 10 to 15%, and that being good, and then you have our firemen paramedics with a cardiac save rate of 70%. That is staggering. I always joke to my friends that if you think you're going to have a heart attack, make sure you're in Orland Park, because you're going to live. And we've had many examples of people coming here and speaking to the public and speaking to our board, thanking the firemen and the paramedics and the police officers who were involved in their call that ended up saving their lives. And it's a very emotional thing, and we're very proud of that. And we have leadership of Chief Schofield, Deputy Chief Cinquepalmi, and all of our battalion chiefs to thank for that. The training is second to none. And because of that, we keep continuing to upgrade all of our equipment and anything the firemen would need to continue that. We just purchased, was it 5 chairs? Those 6 chairs. These robotic stretcher chairs that will help firemen, paramedics get someone out of a building without having to strain themselves with regard to carrying someone who might be heavier down a flight of stairs, be it 3 or 4 stairs or a flight of stairs. And these chairs were not cheap, but they're a lot cheaper than workman's comp claims and overtime charges for having a fireman take the place of someone who may have gotten hurt with a back or a shoulder or an arm injury from carrying someone down a flight. So if they know what they want and they present it to the board, and it's a valid thing, you got it. We're going to always take care of our firemen, paramedics. Right now, I just want to introduce Chief Schofield, say a few words, and we'll continue our program after him. Thanks. Chief.
The firefighters in the fire district, we wouldn't be able to do what we do if it wasn't for our board of trustees. You know, they oversee our policies, they direct us, and when we bring something to the board, something that's beneficial to the firefighters or the residents, it's up to them to look at it, not only financially, but how it will impact our residents and approve it. And we've had a great board, and their dedication is to our residents and to our firefighters. And it's shown in everything we do here. You know, like our president said, you know, we are the best of the best. We train hard, we work hard, and we perform hard. Now, the fire service has certainly changed over the years I've been here. So I've lived in Orland over 50 years, and I started here in 1977 as a cadet. And I've watched the area change from a mostly rural area, farming community, to what we have today. And I would say probably the last 10 years have been the most challenging for the fire district because the way the world has changed. So you go back pre-2001, pre-911, we really didn't have to worry much about terrorism. And then 9/11 came and the whole world changed. And we had to change too as a fire department. We had to buy different type of training things, like at the training tower. We built the first collapse simulator in the state of Illinois. It was built here in Orland. And you'd say, well, why do we need a collapse simulator? Because the world's changing. And no matter what happens anywhere, the first people anybody call is the fire department. And we have to be ready. We're expected to be ready, and we're expected to know how to respond. So after 2001 and 9/11, we changed how we train, and we started training people in building collapse, especially rescues. We changed our academy, and that's because we were able to go to our board of trustees and ask for additional funding to do that. Now, as the world continued to change, we started seeing active shooters. Now, if you would have told me when I was a young cadet in 1977 that I'd be wearing ballistic gear, I would have thought you were crazy. But our firefighters now are all issued ballistic vests and ballistic helmets. And that's because of active shooters. Now, we've watched what happened in Columbine, and we watched the assault on the school by students. And what we learned was waiting will not save lives. You have to go in and you have to rescue. And you have to work with the police. Now, for generations, police and fire have always operated separately. You know, the police, they went in there and did their police stuff, and when they were all done and everything was secure, then they'd call us in. That all changed. And Orland Fire was one of the leaders in the state of Illinois teaching what we call RTF. We were the first ones to be doing it and training, and we went on to start teaching throughout the state. So what we do now is if there's an active shooter, whether it's in a shopping center or in a school or anywhere, the police go in initially and their job is to go after the bad guy. All right? So if there are people shot, fire goes in with police. One police officer, 2 paramedics. And our job now, and we've learned this from Columbine, is to get to the kids, get to the people that were shot and start treating them right away, because they only have a limited time to survive. Years ago, it would be wait till the SWAT team comes in and clears the building. Now, we're going in under an active threat. So we're going into what we call the warm zone. We're going in with police protection. The police have guns, shields. They're protecting us while we go in and we do initial treatment and start saving lives. Very new concept to everybody. So, you know, we're actively in a shooting situation. And that costs money. We had to go back to the board and say, we need bulletproof vests and we need ballistic gear because our role has changed. And we've changed because of all the incidents that's happened in the past, and we've learned from that. So we constantly change here in the Orland Fire District. Going back to 1977, we were a fire department. Now here we are in 2023, we're more of an EMS department. Our majority of our calls are EMS. And if you look around this area here in Orland, we are surrounded by medical facilities. Our department is the busiest fire district in the state of Illinois. Nobody runs more calls. No fire district runs more calls than Orland. We'll be over 13,000 calls this year, which is amazing. And we do a great job. We save a lot of lives because of the dedication of our members and our ability to work with our local 2754, which is our union. We all have the same mission, and that is to do the best job we can for our citizens in this changing environment. 10 years from now, who knows what we'll be doing. But we always have to be prepared, and Orland is always on the cutting edge. And the ability to do that is because of our Board of Trustees.
The next person I want to introduce is our Finance Director, Kerry Sullivan. Give us a few ideas about what's going on with the district.
Thank you, President Brudnak. We are very proud of the financial position that the Orland Fire Protection District is in, and that is a direct result of the decisions made by our Board of Trustees, supported by recommendations from the Fire Chief, in support of our firefighter paramedics that serve the community day in and day out. We are also very proud that in the last several years, We have earned some awards from the Government Finance Officers Association, GFOA. We've earned the Distinguished Budget Presentation Award for the last 6 years and earned the Certificate of Achievement in Financial Reporting for the last 14 years. Just a few short words about how the district is funded. So the primary source of revenue for the district is property taxes, which represent about 76% of the revenue that we receive. We also receive EMS fees, which represents about 13% of our revenue. But we only accept insurance payment from residents. A resident will never have to pay for ambulance service from the district. Other sources of revenue include dispatch fees, grants, and other sources of revenue. Last year, we had about $1.3 million of grants to help offset the costs of the district. Where do those revenue sources go? Well, our primary expense is personnel-related expense, and that represents about 84% of the district's expenses. Other expenses, but very necessary expenses, of supplies, repairs, equipment, utilities, and yes, even fuel, represent about 6% of the district's expenses. And then we have other expenses that are about 10% of our costs. Another point that we wanted to make sure that, that everyone knew was that our pension fund is very well funded. In 2021, our pension fund was 100% funded. With the market, how it's happened within 2022, it's gone down a little bit, but our pensions fund is still very well funded, and that's a source of pride for the district as well. We thank you very much.
Thank you, Kerry. Rosemaria DiBenedetto is going to come and say a few words about our Senior Advisory Council.
I'd like to invite up my 3 members that came today. When I started back in 2009 with the fire district, I wasn't old enough to join this group. I'm sorry to say that, yes, I am today. Now I'm old enough to be a part of this group, and they do a wonderful job. They're a unique organization. They bring a tremendous value to the district, and it's a real privilege to work with all of them, so I'd like to bring them all up. We have 11 members currently. One of them is here, Carolyn Newkirk, Rosemary Ely, and our guest speaker for today, Kurt Unander. So I'll give the podium to him.
Just before I start, I want to congratulate the 9/11 reaction a month ago. Coming back to the bedroom, I collapsed. My wife couldn't pick me up. Called the paramedics. They came in. I said, just put me back in bed. That's all you need to do. They said, you're going to the hospital. And I am so appreciative that they were firm and made sure I went to the hospital. It turned out I had sepsis, blood poisoning. I was in Payless for 4 days, and thank God for this fire department. Anyway, my name is Kurt Unander. I've been with the Senior Advisory Council now for 7 years, and it is a very important organization in the district. The Board of Trustees established, and I'm going to say SAC, which is Senior Advisory Council, in 2009. The Senior Advisory Council's mandate is to serve as the liaison between the district's senior population and fire district officials. SAC's main purpose is to identify and address specific needs of the senior residents in our district. And as you all know, we have a lot of seniors in this district. In general, the Advisory Council's main tasks include studying the issues pertinent to the senior population, performing independent research, SAC initially, and it went into the CERT program. We participate in district activities. We educate seniors about health and safety issues recommended by staff and the district while analyzing the impact of the policies on the senior population within the district.
Okay. We make recommendations to the Board of Trustees based on thoughtful and unbiased discussions from a senior perspective. The SAC also coordinates and sponsors educational programs for various groups of seniors, including homeowners associations, community groups, and the public at large, on issues that include safety tips, CPR training, Knox boxes, and 911 calls. SAC members also serve as volunteers at various fire district events. In addition, SAC distributes Orland Fire Protection District safety messages to 10 locations throughout the district. These safety materials are provided to seniors and families. To date, the group has over 40 different safety topics. SAC is governed by a set of bylaws, policies, and procedures, and a code of ethics. The group is nonpartisan. We meet the third Thursday of each month at 10 a.m. right here at district headquarters. Currently, we have 11 active members. We are looking for more members to meet the growing population of seniors in the district. There is information about SAC on the district's website, along with an application for membership. If anybody has any questions? If not, thank you for your attention.
Hi, so I'm Betsy. I like to say thank you to everybody for being here today. I have been with the district this July this will be my 10-year anniversary. And I am so happy that I work with the greatest group of people, the administration board. I work with the firefighters very closely. I am proud to say that I have started some programs in the schools, starting with children as young as preschool. We do a 45-minute program in the preschools. I go in and teach them a lot of interactive fire and life safety messages. Our firefighters come with me when I'm finished talking to show the kids their gear, to teach the kids that they should not be afraid of our firefighters if they ever need to come and help them. We also do the same or similar program in our kindergarten classes. We have a first grade Adopt a Firefighter program where our firefighters have joined with my team, and they go into all the first grade classrooms within the district, and they teach 5 different fire safety messages. Each message is 20 minutes long. And the kids start to become familiar with our guys, and when they see them out in the stores and out in the public, they're beginning to not be fearful of them. So if they do see them in an emergency situation, they're not as fearful. This year, we also started a 2nd grade pilot program. It's called the Sound Off for Fire Safety program. It's 4 different fire safety lessons to the 2nd graders. And it concludes with a home safety visit if the family chooses to do so. I also do a 3rd grade program that is 6 lessons, 1 hour each lesson. And with that, the kids learn a tremendous amount of information on life safety skills, fire education. And when we conclude that 3rd grade program, I kind of bring it into our summer camps. It leads into why we are doing all these programs. And then these camps that are coming up this July 10th, 11th, and 12th is our kids camp. It ranges from the ages of 8 and 12 years old. These kids will learn a lot of different fire and life safety messages. They will learn CPR, the Heimlich remover, stop the bleed, CPR. They will learn about train safety, fire safety, bike safety, all kinds of different things. They will see a side-by-side burn, and they will understand the reasons for the really important message about why we need working fire alarms in our homes. Smoke alarms are super important, and we like to bring that message to the kids as young as preschool. And they go home and tell their families that they need them and they need to learn escape drills. So we learn all these different things at camp, and we exercise all these different skills. It's empowering, it's hands-on, and it's super fun and educational. And the camp that we have after our kids' fire and life safety camp is our junior cadet camp. This camp starts with children between the ages of 13 to 16 years old. This camp is a little bit more in depth. It's an entire day from 9 a.m. till 3:30. They learn a ton of different things. They learn how to extricate a car, hands-on. They learn also the CPR, the Heimlich maneuver, the stop the bleed, and a bunch of different other fire and life safety messages. We will conclude this year with our open house the evening of our junior cadet camp. Our open house this year will be July 13th from 6:30 to 8:30 p.m. This open house is for our community. We want our community to be invited, and we'd like for them to see what we do hands-on. They could see our firefighters in action with all our different specialty teams. They will see a side-by-side burn, so they can also, besides the kids seeing our side-by-side burn and the importance of smoke alarms, we want our community to see the same thing. We will also have a bunch of community tables, and it's just a great culminating activity for our whole neighborhood to see. Our next barbecue is going to be at Station 2 on June 7th from 5 to 7 p.m. And we hope our community also comes out to that to learn what it is that we do and get to know our chiefs and personnel in our district and be able to answer questions and get to know more. So thank you. Does anybody have any questions? Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Betsy. Well, that concludes our program today. Are there any questions from anybody?
I'm going to just ask the chief, on Tuesday, he mentioned that the fire district is working with the Orland Police and the Orland Park to ensure that there is not a recurrence of what we saw at Tinley Park at the carnival. And I wondered if you could update us.
Prior to the Tinley Park incident, we had already been focused on having a family-safe event, the Orland Festival. We've already put in, prior to the Tinley Park incident, we already had things put into play, like 22 entrances, bag checks, metal detectors. Anybody 18 and under has to be accompanied by an adult. So those things are already in play. We, the police and the fire district, work very well together. Whenever there's an event, we spend a lot of times behind the scene meeting, and generally what we do is we always plan for the worst case scenario and then walk it back. And whenever you do that, you cover all the bases. We never take anything for granted. This is a big event. It's in a large area, so it has a lot of challenges for police and fire. But we're working every week to meet those challenges. And like I said in the beginning, prior to the events that happened in Tinley, we already had safety things in play. So what we want is a welcoming event. We want our seniors there, we want our families there and our children there, and we want them in a safe and secure event. And we are pretty positive that's what we're going to offer. Thank you.
Thank you, Chief. Any other questions? I'd like to thank everybody for taking some time out of your day to join us here this morning, and look forward to seeing you in the future. Thank you.